My child, stop what you're doing and listen. I am speaking to you now, not later, not when it's convenient, but now, because this moment carries eternity's weight. You have hesitated, questioned, delayed, and prayed for answers while holding the very door I've commanded you to open. Hear me clearly. This is an order. Open right away. Do not reason with the command. Receive it. For what I am about to release will not wait for your comfort. It waits for your obedience. The time is urgent, the call is personal, and heaven itself leans in for your response. Listen to me, beloved one. This is not a suggestion, not a whisper of possibility. This is an order from the depths of eternity, spoken directly to the core of your being. Open right away. Do not question what I mean, for your spirit already knows. You have felt the trembling inside, the stirring that will not quiet, the ache that will not fade. You have sensed my presence pressing against the walls you have built, the walls of disappointment, fear, and delay. I am not coming to negotiate with your hesitation. I am coming to awaken your soul. The time for waiting has passed. The moment for obedience has come. I am calling you out of slumber, out of the half-life of spiritual numbness, into the living fire of my will. The words you are hearing are not echoes. They are a summons from the one who formed your spirit and numbered your days before the foundation of the world. You have asked me, Lord, what do you want from me? And I say to you now, I want your immediate response. I want the door of your heart to swing wide at the sound of my voice. Do not weigh the cost, for I have already paid it in full. Do not count what you might lose, for nothing you release to me will ever be wasted. When I say open, I am not asking for partial surrender. I am commanding the full unveiling of your soul, the exposure of every hidden core to my holy light. I am not here to condemn, I am here to resurrect what you buried. I am not demanding from you something harsh or cruel. I am offering you freedom that fear has told you to avoid. You have prayed for change, for clarity, for breakthrough, and now the answer stands before you, not in distant promises, but in this divine order. Open right away. My child, you have waited for me to move, but I have been waiting for you to obey. The very thing you asked me to do, I have placed within your reach. You cry out for me to reveal my will, but I have already revealed it. You asked me to draw near, yet I stand at the threshold, knocking. I do not dwell in hesitation. I move in faith. I do not live in delay. I manifest in obedience. The heavens themselves respond to the hearts that move when I speak. Every miracle begins with a moment like this, a moment where you stop reasoning and start responding. Do not let your mind argue against your spirit. The command is clear because my purpose is sure. I am not far from you. I am speaking now, breathing now, stirring now. Feel my urgency. It is not anger, but love too fierce to remain silent. The enemy has lulled you into comfort, telling you that you can wait until tomorrow. But I, your God, am telling you there is no tomorrow for what I desire to do in you today. What waits behind obedience is far greater than what fear convinces you to keep. So hear me again, my beloved child, with the authority that shapes galaxies and stills storms. This is an order. Open right away. You keep searching outside for what I have already placed within you. You knock on doors of opportunity, love, purpose, and peace, hoping one of them will finally open and fill the emptiness that gnaws at your heart. But I tell you, beloved, the door you seek is not out there. It is in you. It stands quietly within your spirit, built by my own hands before your first breath. It is not made of wood or iron, but of surrender and trust. This door connects your human frailty to my divine fullness, your brokenness to my healing, your questions to my eternal answers. Yet for so long, you have passed by it, unaware that the greatest threshold of your life stands within your own heart. I have watched you knock on doors that were never meant for you, doors that led only to disappointment, confusion, and endless striving. You thought you were being denied, but I was protecting you. For the door I desire you to open is not one that leads outward to the world's noise, but inward to my voice. I am not distant. I am not waiting in some unreachable realm. I am at the inner doorway, closer than your breath, whispering your name. And yet, you have been afraid to turn the handle. Why? Because to open it, you must face what lies behind it. Your wounds, your memories, your unmet hopes, your hidden shame. But I say to you, do not be afraid of what is behind that door, for I am already there. I am not calling you to face the darkness alone. I am calling you to invite me into it. When you open to me, like floods in, not to expose you for judgment, but to heal you for destiny. Every closed door within you has been an echo of something you once feared to feel, but I have come to break the silence. The moment you open, you will see that what felt like emptiness was actually a sacred space waiting for my glory to dwell. Do not think of this door as a single act, but as a daily communion. Each time you trust me more deeply, the hinges move a little freer, the passage grows a little wider, and my presence fills you more completely. This is the door of intimacy, of knowing me, not just knowing about me. You have invited me into your prayers, but now I ask you to invite me into your being. Open the door within you, and you will find that every other door in your life begins to align with my will. You will no longer chase what is outside, for what is within you will overflow beyond measure. I am the God who dwells in your depths. I am the one who knocks not on buildings but on hearts. And I am calling you, softly yet firmly, open the door within you. Now, you have stood before this door many times, haven't you? Your hand trembling on the handle, your heart divided between wanting freedom and fearing what freedom might demand. Fear hath been your watchman, your self-appointed protector. It whispers that safety is found in silence, that survival means staying behind the walls. But hear me now, fear is not your guardian. It is your jailer. It promises to keep you from harm, but in truth, it keeps you from healing. I never designed fear to rule your decisions. It was meant only to alert you, never to enslave you. Yet fear has taken residence at your threshold, convincing you that stepping forward will break you. My child, it is not the opening that will destroy you. It is the continued closing that will. Every time you let fear hold you back, you reinforce the bars of a prison I died to set you free from. I see how fear has worn your soul thin. Fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of failing me. But I tell you now, your failures do not frighten me, your weaknesses do not repel me, and your brokenness does not surprise me. I have already accounted for every falter, every stumble, every tear. What I want is not your perfection. What I want is your permission. Let me in. Let my perfect love drive out the fear that has guarded your threshold for too long. You have tried to reason with your fears, to manage them, to keep them quiet, but you cannot silence what you continue to entertain. You must replace fear, not reason with it. Let my presence take its place. Where fear whispers you are not enough, I speak louder. I am your enough. Where fear says, you will fail, I declare I am the strength within your weakness. Fear loses its grip not when you become stronger, but when you surrender to me completely. So, I ask you again, what would happen if you stopped believing the voice of fear and believed mine instead? The threshold of your heart was never meant to be guarded by anxiety. It was meant to be opened by faith. Fear stands tall but has no substance. It is a shadow cast by lies. My light exposes it for what it truly is, nothing. Do not let what is nothing keep you from everything I have prepared for you. Step forward. Turn the handle. Open right away. The moment you do, the fear that has ruled you will flee, for fear cannot coexist with my presence. I am here now, standing before the threshold, declaring with love and authority, fear no longer guards what belongs to me. You have heard it, haven't you? The quiet, steady knock that interrupts your thoughts at unexpected times. When the world grows still and you feel that deep ache in your chest, that is not emptiness, that is me. Every sleepless night, every tear that came without reason, every sudden stirring of hope in moments of despair, those were my knocks. I have not stopped knocking because I refuse to give up on you. Even when you drowned my voice in busyness, even when you silenced it with distractions, even when you convinced yourself that you were unworthy of my nearness, I kept knocking. I do not force entry into your life, for love does not break down doors, it waits to be welcomed. But my patience is not permission for delay, it is mercy calling for response. The knock you have ignored is not a sound from outside, it is a heartbeat within, a divine rhythm that will not let you forget who you truly are. I have knocked in many ways, through a verse that gripped you, through a song that stirred your soul, through the pain that broke what pride had built, through the beauty that made you weep without knowing why. Every knock carries my invitation. Let me in. I do not knock because I am far away, I knock because I am near. I am the pulse behind your purpose, the breath behind your longing, the still small voice that calls you home when you wander. Yet, you have grown accustomed to the noise of the world, to voices that promise pleasure but deliver emptiness. And still, I keep knocking because I know that one day you will listen, not out of fear, but out of weariness from chasing what will never fill you. My knock is not a demand. It is a reminder that I have never left the doorway of your soul. Do not ignore me any longer. Every moment you delay, the ache inside you grows, not because I punish you, but because your spirit longs for me as much as I long for you. The sound you have tried to drown out is the sound of grace calling you back to life. The moment you answer, the moment you open, peace will rush in like the tide returning to shore. I am not here to accuse, I am here to dwell. The knock is not to frighten you, it is to awaken you. So listen, my beloved. That rhythm you hear when all else fades, that is me. I am still knocking, still waiting, still loving. And I am saying once more, with gentle authority, this is not a moment to hesitate. This is a moment to open right away. You not tell yourself there is still time. You not whisper later when my spirit says now. Every moment you postpone obedience, the distance between you and destiny widens. I do not command you out of impatience. I command you because delay drains life from what I have breathed into you. You think waiting gives you control, but in truth, it gives fear authority over your purpose. Delay is not neutrality. It is disobedience disguised as caution. You have told yourself you're praying about it, thinking it through, waiting for confirmation. Yet deep down, you already know what I've asked of you. You felt the stirring, the conviction, the quiet ache that refuses to fade. That is not confusion. That is my voice, lingering where you left off. You keep asking for another sign, but I have already given you myself. I am not calling you to prepare for my will. I am calling you to step into it. When you delay, you strengthen the very walls I am trying to tear down. Each not yet becomes a brick of resistance built by fear and disguised as wisdom. You convince yourself you are protecting what little stability you have. But my child, I am your stability. You cannot upend me. Every day you postpone obedience, something in you grows quieter, colder, more resistant to my whisper. But when you move immediately, when you trust my timing over your understanding, the heavens move in alignment. My angels respond not to hesitation but to faith. Every miracle written in my word began with a moment of obedience that refused to wait. Noah didn't wait for the rain to fall before building the ark. Abraham didn't wait to understand before walking into the unknown. Mary didn't wait for proof before saying, "Let it be unto me." You were never meant to analyze my command, you were meant to answer it. I know what you fear, that obedience might cost you too much. But what you lose in surrender is nothing compared to what delay will steal from you. Delay drains courage, clouds discernment, and silences vision. It tricks you into believing that tomorrow will make it easier, but tomorrow only hardens the walls that today's yes could have shattered. My timing is not a suggestion. It is the pulse of eternity intersecting your moment. When I speak, I have already prepared the provision. When I command, the path is already cleared. You do not need to see it, you only need to step. So listen closely now. The longer you wait, the dimmer the light becomes, not because I leave you, but because hesitation blinds you to what's right before you. I am standing in front of you, hand extended, voice unwavering. This is an order. Open right away. There will come a moment, perhaps it is now, when your heart begins to race, when everything inside you trembles between obedience and fear. That is the moment of holy courage. It does not feel like strength. It feels like surrender. It does not roar, it whispers. But in that whisper, I am present. You think courage is the absence of fear, but true courage is faith that moves while fear still screams. I never asked you to feel ready. Readiness is not a prerequisite for obedience. It is the result of it. When I call you to open, I already know your trembling hands, your uncertain steps, your hesitant breath. I am not asking you to prove your bravery. I am inviting you to trust mine. My courage is already within you, waiting to be awakened by your surrender. You have looked at others and thought, they are stronger, more confident, more capable. But strength is not born from ability. It is born from abiding. Every ounce of courage you need flows from my presence within you. The moment you decide to trust me fully, fear begins to lose its voice. You do not need to slay your fear before you move. You need only move while holding my hand. Holy courage does not come from rehearsing every possible outcome. It comes from resting in the one who holds them all. You say, "What if I fail?" And I say, "What if you fly?" You say, "What if I lose everything?" And I whisper, "What if you find what you were created for?" Courage begins the moment you stop asking what if and start saying yes. Do you not know that every victory of faith begins in a trembling soul? Moses stuttered before speaking. David trembled before the giant. Esther fasted before the king. None of them felt ready, but I was ready in them. The same power that moved through them moves in you now. When you take your first step in faith, heaven leans forward, creation holds its breath, and I release strength you didn't know you carried. Holy courage does not look impressive, it looks surrendered. It is the quiet defiance of fear that whispers, "Even if I fall in His hands." I am not asking you to be fearless. I am asking you to be faithful. So breathe, beloved. Take my hand. Gust the trembling moment. For I promise you this, on the other side of your obedience, courage will no longer feel like struggle. It will feel like freedom. If only you could see what waits behind the door I'm asking you to open, you would not hesitate another second. You imagine risk, loss, and uncertainty, but I see restoration, revelation, and reward. Behind that door lies everything you've prayed for in whispers and tears. Not always in the form you expected, but always in the fullness I promised. What you have been waiting for is not lost. It is waiting for you. I have stored blessings behind obedience, miracles behind surrender, and destiny behind your yes. When you open the door, you do not lose control. You gain communion. What waits beyond is not chaos. It is calling. It is the life you were designed to live before fear rewrote your script. Behind the door is freedom from what has haunted you. It is not just breakthrough in your circumstances. It is breakthrough in your identity. You will see yourself not as the world labeled you, but as I designed you, chosen, anointed, unstoppable. Behind the door, shame dissolves in grace, regret turns to revelation, and wounds become wells of wisdom. You will finally understand why I allowed certain storms. They were not punishments, but preparations. I have been shaping you for the glory that stands just beyond your obedience. You have wondered why things felt stuck, why prayers seemed unanswered. It is because some blessings cannot come through cracks. They require open gates. Do not imagine that what waits behind the door will demand more than you can give. I never call you to something that my strength will not sustain. When you open, you will not step into emptiness. You will step into partnership. I will walk with you through the unknown. Every step you take will echo with purpose. The provision you feared would not come will meet you at the threshold. The people you thought you lost will be replaced with those who carry your next chapter. I have written beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, praise for heaviness, and all of it stands waiting behind this door. The enemy has tried to convince you that obedience will cost you everything, but he lies, for it will give you everything that truly matters. You are not opening to uncertainty. You are opening to abundance. Behind that door is me, your peace, your power, your promise. So stop wondering. Stop waiting. Grasp the handle with trembling faith, and hear my voice once more. This is an order. Open right away. Listen carefully, for I am about to impart a truth that will unlock the very door you have trembled before. My voice is the key. You may search for answers in every direction, through advice, signs, blessings, and opportunities. Yet the greatest unlocking power I placed within your reach is simply my voice speaking to you, calling you onward. When you hear me say open, you do not need 1,000 confirmations, a perfect plan, or all the lights to turn green. What you need is trust in my voice, because I have already prepared what you cannot yet see. I have scripted the key into my word and woven it into your spirit long before you realized its strength. Each time you listen to my whisper, you prove not only that you hear me, but that you believe me. Faith is not primarily about doing. It is about trusting the speaker. And I am your speaker. If you will allow my voice to resonate in you, you will find that what once felt like a Loctite shut begins to loosen at my command. You have asked, Lord, how will I know? And I tell you, you will know because my voice changes you. It will not always come as a thunderclap. It may come as a gentle be still in the midst of turmoil, a quiet nudge in the chaos, a longing in your spirit that cannot be ignored. That nudge is my voice. It is the active key turning in the lock. Every time you follow it, the barrier falls. I am not interested in your perfect understanding. I am interested in your faithful surrender. You keep seeking the right moment, the right feeling, the right plan, but my voice demands none of those. It demands your response. And so I say, respond. When my voice touches you, let your body move even if your mind cannot yet see. Let your feet step even if your path remains blurry. The key I speak is stronger than your fear, more certain than your doubt, and more powerful than your hesitation. The moment you say yes, the lock yields. Know this, The world designed locks and keys so that closure might contain you. But I designed my voice so that opening might release you. Every time you doubt my call, you delay release from the prison you built. The key I offer is not external, it is internal. You will not find it in a manual, a course, or a formula. You will find it in my voice. Because I am not simply speaking to you, I am speaking through you. In your surrender, my voice echoes in the world, shifting realms, repositioning mountains, aligning your life with its purpose. Hear me now. Stop practicing hesitancy. Stop rehearsing evaluation. There is no further waiting room. My voice has landed at your threshold, and I say once more, this is an order. Open right away. Brace yourself, for you have entered into the greatest battleground you will ever face, the battle for your will. I have not sent you out to fight against mere circumstances or outer foes. You are enlisted in a conflict for the sovereignty of your own choice. Every decision you make, whether to open or to remain closed, is a stand. The enemy does not first conquer your territory. He conquers your mind by convincing you your will doesn't matter. But I tell you, beloved, your will matters deeply to me, because it is the channel through which I do my work. When you yield your will to me, you yield not into passivity but into power. The battle is not over your circumstances, it is over the throne of your heart. Will you sit as king over your own decisions, or will you invite me to reign in you? Every time you postpone my command, every time you question my purpose, you give the adversary ground. But every time you open in obedience, you reclaim territory that was lost before you were born. You have thought that victory requires great strength, but victory always begins with a small choice: to trust me one more time. When I ask you to open, I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to yield. Your will is not powerless. It is powerful when aligned with mine. The world tries to steal your will by seducing you with ease, popularity, security, or comfort. But I came to give you life more abundantly, not the empty kind which the world offers, but the filled kind, rooted in my purpose. That life begins the moment you align your will with mine. You have felt the tug inside, between what you want and what I desire. That tug is the frontier of your freedom. It is where your heart chooses either fear or faith, delay or obedience. The battle is real, but its outcome is already decided. I have already triumphed. I call you not to fight for victory, but to step into the victory I won. Your choice will set the context. When you open the door, you're not moving into chaos. You're moving into my authority. When you surrender your will, you're not losing autonomy. You're gaining destiny. The enemy's greatest lie is that your will doesn't matter. But I declare, your will matters so much that I died to redeem it. When you open now, you reclaim the authority to speak again, to live again, to thrive again. So listen, I ask you to stand firm, not against the world, but for my voice. Loyally, purposely, decisively, open right away. The battle ends not when you feel ready, it ends when you choose to act. And I am standing with you, in you, as you choose. Prepare yourself, for beyond every hesitation lies a wonder greater than you can imagine, the flood of my presence. You have known dryness. You have felt the dust of disappointment settle around you. You have watched seasons pass while hope seemed to wither. But I say to you, once you open the door I've placed before you, my presence will not trickle, it will pour. It will rush in like a cleansing river, sweeping away the debris of yesterday, the shame that clung to you, the regret that weighed you down. My presence is not a light sprinkle of blessing, it is a flood of transformation, and I am beckoning you to let it in. Don't fear the deluge, fear the drought of living apart from me. But a moment of opening is the moment the flood begins. You have lived with fear that if you invite me in fully, the change will break you. Yet what breaks you is not me. It is the decision to remain closed. Let me in. Feel my presence breathe life into the places you thought dead. The memories you buried in the corners of your mind will float to the surface, and healing will flow through them like warm water resurrecting a dry garden. You will stand in the middle of your once dark room and feel my light pour in through every window. You will weep not from sorrow, but from the enormity of my compassion. You will not just survive, you will be saturated. Where you once felt unseen, you will feel known. Where you once felt sidelined, you will feel seated at my table. My presence does not just fill space, it owns it, because I am the owner of every space. And so I say, open now, beloved. Do not delay the flood. Every moment you hesitate is a moment you live with just a drop instead of the river. The river I send will usher in new identity, new purpose, new power. It will bring peace like a tidal wave. It will usher joy like a springtime downpour, and it will ignite your spirit like a blaze uncontained. The world may call this reckless, but in the realm of my presence it is the only reasonable step. You are created not for drought, but for overflow. You are designed not just to function, but to flourish. The door of your heart is swinging now. Will you welcome the flood or hold back the gate? I stand here with patience and authority, ready to pour. Remember well, this is an order. Open right away. You have asked me to change your life. But what I am truly after is the transformation within you. You keep waiting for your surroundings to shift, for circumstances to align, for doors to open. But I am first transforming the one who will walk through them. Transformation does not begin with miracles. It begins with permission. When you opened your heart to me, the flood of my presence began its sacred work deep in the soil of your being. It is not a surface renovation, but a resurrection. I am not polishing your pain or repainting your walls. I am rebuilding you from the foundation up. You may not see it yet, but the shifting, the stirring, the discomfort you feel is evidence that I am working. My hands are on the hidden parts, the attitudes, the thoughts, the desires, the wounds that shaped you. I am touching what others could not reach, healing what you learned to hide. You asked for peace, but I am giving you purity. You asked for stability, but I am giving you strength. Transformation is rarely gentle. It is glorious in its breaking. I do not destroy, I deliver. I am tearing down every false identity you built to survive and revealing the radiant one you were always meant to carry. You have prayed for me to make you whole, and that is exactly what I am doing. I am removing the heart of stone, the one that grew calloused from disappointment, hardened by betrayal, numbed by survival, and replacing it with a heart of flesh, soft enough to feel my touch again. You will feel emotions you buried, hopes you dismissed, dreams you dared not revisit. This awakening is not regression, it is resurrection. What once seemed dead is beginning to breathe again. When you open yourself fully, the Spirit moves not around you but through you, cleansing, refining, renewing. Every scar becomes a doorway for my glory to shine through. Every failure becomes fertilizer for new growth. I am transforming your pain into power, your weakness into worship, your confusion into calling. I am not asking you to understand it. I am asking you to stay open as I do it. The transformation within will not always be comfortable, but it will always be holy. So do not resist the stretching. Do not flee from the fire, for the same fire that purifies gold is now refining you. The old you cannot carry the weight of new glory, so I am remaking you from the inside out. This is not punishment, It is preparation. When I finish, you will not just feel different, you will be different. The world will see the reflection of my nature in your eyes, the gentleness of my heart in your words, and the authority of my spirit in your presence. You are becoming who you already are in my design. Stay open, for transformation is not coming. It has already begun. Do not close again what I have just opened. The temptation will come to retreat, to protect, to hide once more behind the walls you just let fall. But I am giving you a new order. Remain open. You opened your heart once in courage. Now I am calling you to live continually open. Openness is not a moment, it is a lifestyle. To remain open is to keep your spirit aligned with mine, to let my presence flow freely through you without interruption. The same door that let me and must now let me move. When you close again out of fear or fatigue, you limit the flow of life that I am trying to sustain in you. My spirit is not meant to visit you, it is meant to dwell in you. Remaining open means refusing to let bitterness take root, refusing to let disappointment build new barriers, refusing to let pride or offense shut what humility has opened. You cannot pour out what you have sealed shut, and you cannot receive what you have locked away. So I command you, with gentleness and authority, stay open. You may say, but Lord, being open hurts. It makes me vulnerable. Yes, it does. But remember this. Openness to me will never destroy you. It will only define you. When you remain open, you allow me to guide your emotions, to govern your thoughts, to guard your heart. You stop reacting to life and start responding through love. I will teach you when to speak, when to rest, when to move, and when to wait. Remaining open does not mean being careless. It means being connected. I will protect what you entrust to me. Do not confuse openness with weakness. The strongest vessels are those that remain open to constant filling. A river that flows never grows stagnant, and a heart that remains open never runs dry. Let my presence be your continual current. When the world's voices grow loud, return to the stillness where you and I commune. When fear knocks again, answer it with faith that says, this door stays open. Remaining open will not always be easy, but it will always be fruitful. In every season, whether joy or sorrow, abundance or lack, your openness will be your lifeline. Because I pour into what stays yielded. Keep your heart wide to me, even when life presses against it. The more the world hardens, the more I call you to remain tender. The more darkness spreads, the more I ask your light to shine. So let it flow, beloved. Remain open, not once but always. For the open heart is my dwelling place, and I will fill it endlessly. Now see, beloved, what I had waiting for you all along, the blessing of obedience. Every time you obeyed, even trembling, heaven recorded it. Every yes you whispered when it made no sense was a seed, and now, harvest begins. Obedience is not loss, it is alignment. It places you under the waterfall of my abundance. Because you opened when I said, open right away, you have positioned yourself beneath the downpour of divine favor. You thought obedience would cost you everything, but look, obedience has given you what you could never earn. The blessing that comes from obedience is not only external, it is internal peace, clarity, authority. You will feel my favor surround you, my wisdom guide you, and my presence anchor you. The doors you once prayed for will begin to open effortlessly, not because you chased them, but because you obeyed me. This is the mystery of obedience. When you yield, I yield heaven. When you move at my word, I move creation in your favor. Your obedience has shifted things you cannot yet see. Generations will be blessed because you said yes. Curses have been broken, chains shattered, and new paths carved because you dared to open when others stayed closed. I do not forget faithfulness. I repay in measures pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I will cause opportunities to find you, peace to chase you, and light to follow you wherever you go. But above all, the greatest blessing of obedience is me. You will walk with me in deeper intimacy, hear me in greater clarity, and carry me in stronger authority. You will move not just in blessing but as a blessing. Everywhere you go, the fragrance of my presence will linger. Those around you will sense that something has changed, and it will not be you. It will be me in you. You will know the joy of living as one whose heart is fully open, fully surrendered, fully alive. So now, hear me one final time. This was never about rules. It was about relationship. Every order I gave was an invitation to intimacy. Every command to open was a call to communion. You have obeyed, and now you shall overflow. You have opened, and now heaven opens in return. My child, this is the blessing of the obedient heart, peace that cannot be shaken, joy that cannot be stolen, strength that cannot be explained. You have walked through the door, and now I welcome you into a new season. Stay open, remain faithful, keep listening. For this is not the end of the order, it is the beginning of your overflow. Amen.